Across London on 1458 AM and DAB, smart speaker, mobile app and LeicaRadio.com.
This is Leica Radio.
Sky News Centre at 9. Ministers saying nurses have been given a full and final pay offer. Members of the RCN are preparing to strike again in England over the next bank holiday weekend after rejecting a 5% increase this year and a one-off payment. The Health Secretary's warning industrial action will risk patient safety. And Tory Chairman Greg Hands says there'll be no negotiations while walkouts are planned.
Steve Barclay is always willing to talk so long as there aren't preconditions attached and so long as there isn't the threat of strikes going on. This is a fair and reasonable offer that has been accepted by Unison, is being balloted by others.
Motoring groups have welcomed the decision to ban the construction of new smart motorways. They were introduced in England in 2014 to ease congestion by making the hard shoulder a live lane. But there's also been a series of fatal accidents involving broken down vehicles. Rod Dennis is from the RAC.
As far as we're concerned, it's really a watershed announcement and a victory for anyone who has campaigned against the government deciding to permanently remove the hard shoulder, which has sadly seen people lose their lives in recent years.
A trial starting this week will make it easier for police to stop and search people who have previous convictions for carrying knives. The pilot's starting across 4 forces in England. Doctors in Sudan say at least 56 people have been killed and close to 600 wounded in 2 days of violence. Fighting's intensified between the army and a paramilitary group vying for power. Hundreds of workers at Amazon's distribution centre in Coventry have started a 3-day walkout. The GMB union says members won't accept a pay rise of pennies. And in sport, Erling Haaland took his Premier League goal title to 32 with a brace in Manchester City's 3-1 win over Leicester. The win moves them 3 points off leaders Arsenal, who are away at West Ham this afternoon. In the Scottish Premiership's Rangers thrashed St Mirren 5-2. That's the latest. I'm Ruth McKee.
Great deals start with Homebase. Get the family together for less with 20% off all garden furniture sets. From comfy corner sofas to garden dining. Find this and more deals online or in store until the 12th of April. Homebase. Homes and gardens made easy. T's and C's apply.
Winner of Radio Station of the Year at the Asian Media Awards 2022.
Leica Radio, London.
Leica Radio weather.
Today's weather: sunny intervals and light winds. In London and surrounding areas, top temperature 16 centigrade. Sunset is at 7:58 p.m.
Leica Radio. Leica Radio.
Flight updates are brought to you by TravelUp.com. Flights, hotels and holidays.
Let's go for a flight update. All flights are as scheduled, but please check with your flight operators before heading to the airport.
Flight updates were brought to you by TravelUp.com. Lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com. Call 0207 580 5000. Flight updates were brought to you by TravelUp.com. Lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com. Call 0207 580 5000. Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London. Leica Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the 156th edition of Talking Points on Leica Radio with me, Keith Vaz. Thank you, Priyanka, for another great show. Happy birthday this week. Lots of birthdays this week to Ian Subhaskaran, Dai Kang, Jaspal Kuna, Maganbai Patel, Hanal Chauhan, Gorinda Sandhu, Daksha Kalani, Milan Kangale and Dipesh Chauhan. My goodness, a lot of birthday cakes being sold all over Britain. Let's go for a roundup of the top stories of this week. You've probably seen that President Joe Biden arrived in Northern Ireland and then went to the Republic of Ireland, met a lot of people on his visit, visited a pub, went to look at the place where his ancestors set off for sail from Ireland to the United States of America. He praised the work of Northern Ireland's young people, saying they were at the cutting edge of the future of Belfast. He also met Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in Northern Ireland, and after that he addressed the Parliament of the Republic of Ireland, and he met another Indian origin Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar. A Saudi Arabian delegation is at this moment in Yemen's capital, Sana'a, for talks with the Houthi rebel movement aimed at reaching a new and potentially permanent ceasefire. A mediation team from Oman is also in Sana'a. The capital has been controlled by the Houthis since they drove the Yemeni government out in 2015. There is a glimmer of hope of peace in Yemen after 8 years. Who invented the microscope? Well, it's not actually clear, but it's credited sometimes to the Dutch spectacle maker Zacharias Janssen, who started the first early compound microscopes in around 1600. The earliest microscope could magnify an object from 20 to 30 times its normal size. So, the microscope is 423 years old this year. On the programme today, we're going over to India to talk to Runa Tavore Agrawal, who spent time with a pharmaceutical company and also with General Electric, one of the biggest companies in the world. We'll be asking her, how is it possible for a woman to get to the top of a company like that? She's a GE certified 6 Sigma black belt, which doesn't mean karate, it means management. From India, we're going over to North London to talk to my next guest on the programme, Andrea Mallam, the founder and trustee of a charity called Saving Dreams, a multi-award-winning leader in diversity and an international role model who tells us that she enjoys inspiring and motivating others. After all, April is Diversity Month. But before all that, let's hear some music.
मैं पगला गया हूँ ये जानता जो दिल के मोहल्ले में तू आ गया मेरे सवाल का तू ही जवाब है शर्मा गया मैं पगला गया हूँ ये जानता जो दिल के मोहल्ले में तू आ गया बेहोश होश है सब खामोश है हूँ बेहोश होश है सब खामोश है तेरी बातों में मैं ये कहाँ आ गया मेरे सवेरे ही ख्वाब आ गया ढूंढूं कहाँ कोई ऐसा जो समझे बिना बोले बातों को ना चंदा को तोड़ के लाए वो पर चांद हो दिल उसका पैसे भले कम कमाए वो पर जोरों से डेली हंसाए वो ले बाहों में जब घर आए वो मैं क्वीन हूँ किसी की हाँ वैसे हूँ मैं बड़ी सीधी सारी लड़की पर लब लेके आता ट्विस्ट मेरे ऐसा पगला सा मेरे लिए जब कहूँ करे बारिश ऐसा जो मिले तो never gonna let go बड़ी जोर से मोहब्बत हुई बड़े जोर का तुझ पे प्यार आ गया मेरे सवाल का तू ही जवाब है ये सवेरे सवेरे ही ख्वाब आ गया ये मान लो के दिल है घर तेरा हाँ ये मान लो के दिल है घर तेरा किराया प्यार से चुका देना तुम मेरा कहो ना रहने कब आओगे तुमसे जो दो पल बातें हो मेरी हाँ तुमसे जो दो पल बातें हो मेरी तो सारा दिन बदल ही जाता है हो जा मेरी बोलो गले कब
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
My special guest on the programme today is Runa Tavara Agrawal, who comes from a business management background with experience in industries ranging from pharmaceuticals and information technology to education, hospitality, and more recently, media and humanitarian aid. Runa spent time with Cadilla Pharmaceuticals and the GE Company. She is a GE certified Six Sigma Black Belt and has a special affinity for process change management and result-orientated team collaboration. She's now an announcer for All India Radio, together with working on television content at Doordarshan, both the national radio and TV broadcasters. As an early volunteer during the COVID crisis, she spent some time statewide helping with the emergency response team. She's got an MBA in international business from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade in New Delhi, and she joins me from India today. Good morning, Runa Tavara Agrawal, or to you, as it's India, good afternoon.
Good morning to you, Keith.
Now, Ruma, you're something of a role model for Asian women in business. Did you decide at an early age that this is something that you want to do, or was there family pressure for you to stay away from the murky life of business and do something different?
I don't think there was either. I think it was just about finding something that you wanted to do. And truth be told, the only thing that I knew once I finished college was that I wanted to travel, which is why I decided to do an MBA in international business. Lucky for me that it did enable me to do what I wanted to do. And so I got into pharmaceuticals. Again, I think the industry chose me, not the other way around. It was a good run. I enjoyed what I was doing. So with Cadilla Pharmaceuticals, which was based in Gujarat, continues to be based there, I traveled and I ended up in Africa to begin my international sojourn, so to speak. A beautiful continent, great times, all work at the front end of the manufacturing business, obviously pharmaceuticals, sales, marketing, business development. And then I moved to General Electric, which was everything back end. But at no point in time was there a directive either from family or society around what I needed to do. I think I was fortunate that the opportunities came. And I think I was doubly fortunate that I had great managers and mentors along the way.
Now, you've achieved something of a kite mark. To the rest of us, a black belt means that you're involved in karate. But General Electric, of course, one of the biggest companies in the world, if not the biggest company in the world, have certified you as a black belt. What exactly does that mean in terms of management? Because I've not heard that in a management context before. I'd like to be a black belt in something.
Well, always possible. I can mentor you. But GE really set the gold standard on quality management. And Six Sigma is a quality management term. It comes from how repeatable and reproducible a process can be. And the aircraft industry was one of those where their failure rate was down to very, very, very little. And we had a very strong program across all of its businesses around quality management, Six Sigma being that gold standard. So we were black belts, as they were called, who were trained to be able to manage and enhance quality in all of the processes that the organization ran across all of its businesses, be it power generation, be it consumer finance or commercial finance, be it aircraft engine. Processes were always intended to work to optimal capacities, to as failure-proof as they could be. And so you had a rigorous program that required one to go through to be a certified black belt. And once you were attached to different processes, different businesses, to kind of be the quality consultant to ensure that they worked to the standards that customers would want them to be working at. And then black belts would also mentor people within processes who operated within processes to see how they could get to better levels of efficiency.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm having a very interesting conversation indeed with Runa Tavara Agrawal about her work and life in business. When we come back, we're going to talk about the other work that she does as an announcer for All India Radio. Join us after the break.
Let's go crazy.
कलकत्ते तो ले आंदा गुजरात तो ले आंदा गुजरात तो तंग मैनू करी जांदा बेबी कल रातों हाँ बेबी कल रातों कलकत्ते तो ले आंदा गुजरात तो ले आंदा गुजरात तो तंग मैनू करी जांदा बेबी कल रातों हाँ बेबी कल रातों थोड़ा जा टिक्की लगदा ट्रिपी लगदा मैनू ते की लगदा हाय नी तेरा
ओ मेरे कोके दे चारों ओर चर्चे सारे आशिकों के दिल है मचलते ऐसे हिला दूं मैं लखनऊ मुंडे देखे जाए मैनू तक तक के मेरे कोके दे चारों ओर चर्चे सारे आशिकों के दिल है मचलते ऐसे हिला दूं मैं लखनऊ मुंडे देखे जाए मैनू तक तक के
सुपना सच करन दे नी अज टू मच करन दे जानी नू टच करन दे
Moving to London.
Expectations. Staying in a castle-like house. Marrying a Farangi. Having a luxurious lifestyle.
Reality. Sharing one bed with the 5 people, eating bland food and doing odd jobs.
Watch the struggles of illegal immigrants on United Kache, a Z5 comedy series starring Sunil Grover. Streaming now.
तकलीफों की दुनिया में welcome.
Haldiram brings you the most loved Indian sweets which are freshly made in UK. Now order your favorite Haldiram products online only on haldiramuk.com. Also available at your local Asian store at super special prices.
Behind every money transfer, there's a dream. This Vaisakhi, feel closer to your loved ones with Remitly. Download the Remitly app and get a special new customer offer. Remitly wishes you a happy Vaisakhi. Authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
Anuj Chopra Foundation proudly presents एक सुरीली मुलाकात कमल खान के साथ. The 2010 Saregama singing superstar winner and Zee Cine Award winner for his song Ishq Sufiana. On Friday, 2nd June at the Queen's Theatre, Billet Lane, Hornchurch. Tickets from £25. Call the box office on 01708 443333 or visit queens-theatre.co.uk. Show sponsor Urban Interior. Show hosted by me, your very own Anisa Nasir. Show powered by Laika Radio.
मेरे पापा को गुलाब जामुन बहुत पसंद है.
Order online at pujasweets.com. From barfi, laddus, gulab jamun to samosa and gathia. From catering starters to dessert, Pooja Sweets and Savories. Abhi call kijiye 0208 672 4523 par.
Ramadan Mubarak from Pooja Sweets.
Holidays and More's IFA tour packages, tickets, flights and hotels. Call Holidays and More on 01895 671700. That's 01895 671700.
Bollywood Dance School UK presents Summer Showcase. Put your dancing shoes on and get trained by celebrity dance trainers from India who have worked with biggest Bollywood stars such as Shah Rukh, Deepika, Ranveer and many more. Dance classes for kids, teens and adults. Then Harrow, Wembley, Southall, Ilford, Dartford, Croydon or Central London and get to perform on stage. Book your free trial class today. Visit bollywooddanceschool.co.uk or call us on 0783 883399.
Ramadan Mubarak from Gold Bank, the reliable way to buy and sell gold bars and coins. Visit us at Gold Bank London, 215 The Broadway Southall, UB1 1NB, or buy online at gold-bank.co.uk.
घर घर लगेंगे खुशियों के मेले। जेमीन फूड्स द एथनिक टेस्ट ऑफ इंडिया के साथ ऑथेंटिक इंडियन स्नैक्स की बेशुमार वैरायटी, खाखरा, चिक्कीज, सोन पापड़ी, रोस्टेड चना, पिकल, पापड़ और बहुत कुछ।
Available at quality foods near you.
जेमीन फूड्स की तरफ से आप सभी को बैसाखी की बधाइयाँ।
Asda's Together for Ramadan campaign presents Thought of the Day.
Believe you can and you're halfway there.
Thought of the Day brought to you by Asda's Together for Ramadan campaign. Participating brands KTC Gramflower, Elephant Udder, Desi Doll and Medina Dates. Visit togetherforramadan.co.uk.
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I have been having a fascinating conversation with an industrial black belt, Runa Tavora Agrawal, about her career in the pharmaceutical industry and in information technology. I should ask you this because there's lots of young, budding female entrepreneurs listening to Leica Radio at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Is it tough for women in business?
It can be. It depends really on the organization and on the industry. I think one way for it to be easier is to just go in and not remember that you are a woman. I think there's a lot more consciousness around that today, which is not to take away from it. But because there is more consciousness, I think there is more of a support system in a lot of industries and organizations around recognizing that bias sometimes can be both conscious and unconscious. I've had those battles. I don't think I've ever consciously focused during those battles on the fact that I was a woman, although a lot of those battles probably came because I was one. But for me, it was about putting my head down and getting the work done. And I didn't really recognize, which may have been a blessing, I didn't really recognize that there was gender bias. But it can be difficult. You just need to ensure that there are some industries where it's much easier, where because there is so much consciousness and so much vocalization around it, it is an extremely good support system. But I'd say if you know what you want to do, just go for it. And if you don't really know what you want to do and you're still finding your feet and figuring out which journey is going to take you to ultimately where you want to get to, enjoy the journey.
Well, you prove that it's no longer just a man's world by your various achievements. You've won a number of awards, which I'm sure have given you enormous pleasure. But in the last 2 years, you've been heavily involved in COVID relief. This must have come at a time where people were finding it difficult to access medical services in Goa. How did you find that whole experience? Because it's really a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, isn't it? And you're used to being in business where you give an instruction and it's carried out. That didn't really happen during COVID, did it?
Quite the opposite. I think every commonsensical instruction that one gave during COVID went out the door. And to be fair, I don't think anybody had any idea what they were dealing with. Governments didn't. Medical facilities and authorities didn't, and the general public certainly did not. And it was just about, again, putting your head down and getting things done, because you suddenly saw, Keith, it's like this. We all go through MBA joking about solving world hunger, but you never ever think that you're going to be staring it in the face. And that's exactly what happened, especially with the first wave during COVID. You suddenly had masses, huge communities of men, women, and children who hadn't eaten in days. And even if you had money to buy it, there was no food to be had. That was the nature of the lockdown that was enforced in the state that I'm in. And the first time I saw it, I balked. I couldn't imagine that this was happening in the capital city that I live, where somebody could actually slip through the cracks and that could happen. But then you realize as the volume rises and it's a juggernaut, it's just coming at you and you have to just keep doing.
Tell me something about your work at All India Radio. I mean, All India Radio is so famous throughout the world. Can you imagine a radio station covering 1.4 billion people? What kind of work do you do for All India Radio? You are, in a real sense, one of the voices of All India Radio. How do you know that what you say in the north is going to be heard in the south?
One, All India Radio has an app. It's called the News on AIR app that you can listen to anywhere in the world, and it's got every radio station from Kashmir in the north to Kanyakumari in the south that you can access on the app. And so we know that we have listeners that are listening to us all across. We have a lot of listeners that listen to us from the UK and that they call in on my request program very often. I have people that will message me or call in from the UK. And so I know that our voices are reaching over there. It's great to know that we can continue to link people to the motherland in some way, or the homeland, whichever way you want to look at it. And I know people enjoy the music. Each state in India obviously has its own programming. Goa has unique programming, a lot more of a Western bent in that sense. And I think there's nothing more pleasing than when a listener calls in and says, or messages in and says, I loved your program, thank you so much. The song reminded me of this, that, and the other, you know. But I didn't start out with All India Radio on air, actually. I took the easy route in, the management route in, and I set up the Panjam archive. And I had a blast doing that because it taught me so much of the history of All India Radio and history of Goa through that process, especially the period 1961 to 1993, just after Goa had become a part of India.
Runa Agrawal, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us today. We always ask our special guests to choose a song that means something to them and to dedicate it to someone special. Which song would you like to choose and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
There is this old Hindi film song from a film called Amar Prem. It's called Ye Kya Hua, and it's one of my mother's favorite songs from the Hindi film industry. So I'd like to dedicate it to her and to my dad.
It has been a huge pleasure having you on the program, Runa. Thank you for joining us. You've had an extraordinary career in business and now in the media, and we wish you well in your next endeavours. I hope you have a great Sunday.
Thank you very much, Keith, for having me on the program today, and best wishes to all of the listeners of Like a Radio.
Let's hear Runa Tavore Agrawal's
क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ कब हुआ क्यों हुआ जब हुआ तब हुआ ओ छोड़ो ये न सोचो ये क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ कब हुआ क्यों हुआ जब हुआ तब हुआ ओ छोड़ो ये न सोचो ये क्या हुआ शिकवा करे झूठा क्या हुआ जो दिल टूटा हम क्यों शिकवा करे झूठा क्या हुआ जो दिल टूटा शीशे का खिलौना था कुछ ना कुछ तो होना था हुआ क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ कब हुआ क्यों हुआ जब हुआ तब हुआ ओ छोड़ो ये न सोचो ये क्या हुआ समझे ना हमने जो देखा था सुना था क्या बताए वो क्या था हमने जो देखा था सुना था क्या बताए वो क्या था सपना सलोना था तुम तो होना था हुआ क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ कब हुआ क्यों हुआ जब हुआ तब हुआ ओ छोड़ो सोचो ये क्या हुआ खोना था बदनाम होना था हुआ ये क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ कब हुआ क्यों हुआ जब हुआ तब हुआ तो छोड़ो ये न सोचो
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica. Time checks are brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com or call 0207 580 5000.
Leica Radio.
Traffic and travel.
I'm Michael Page. Although it is still looking busy heading into Heathrow Airport on the M4 spur, it is showing signs of easing up. In South London and Tulse Hill, the A215 Norwood Road is still closed both ways for accident investigation work between the railway bridge at Liam Vale and the Tulse Hill Gyratory. On the tubes, there's still no service on the entire Circle Line. The Hammersmith and City Line isn't running between Moorgate and Barking, and the Metropolitan Line between Baker Street and Aldgate because of flooding at Moorgate. Problems with the signals at Earls Court means there's still no service on the District Line between Earls Court and Olympia, and engineering work means there's no service on the entire Bakerloo line, and the overground isn't running between Euston and Watford Junction. And that's the latest traffic and travel.
At Tesco Mobile, we're a little bit and a little bit. The best of and the very best of. We call it Supermarket Mobile. It means we can dish out help like no other network. It's why we've been awarded Best Network for Customer Service. Welcome to the helpful network. Welcome to Supermarket Mobile. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. Awarded Best Network for Customer Service by Uswitch in 2023.
This is Leica Radio.
सस्ती से सस्ती फ्लाइट्स और हॉलिडे पैकेज चाहिए तो 24 घंटे 7 दिन किसी भी समय ट्रैवल हब का नंबर मिलाइए फॉर क्रूज टेलर मेड हॉलिडे होटल बुकिंग्स एंड हनीमून पैकेजेस हमसे सस्ता कहीं नहीं मिल सकता कॉल ट्रैवल हब 24/7 on 0208-782-8833 or visit travelhubltd.co.uk.
Travel Hub, best service with unbeatable price.
At all protected.
Visit travelhubltd.co.uk.
Hira Foods, bringing you authentic Eastern flavors with a huge selection of products including spices, grains, lentils, rice, flours, pickles, sauces, nuts, and ready-to-eat meals. Hira Foods, king in quality, king in taste.
You know it's nearly Eid when...
Malik, take the chocolate aisle. Raheem, you're on fizzy drinks. Harlow,
we're with you this Ramadan. A 24-pack of Ferrero Rocher is just £6.50 and 1.75 litre bottles of Coca-Cola are only 2 for £4. Morrison's. Selected stores and online. Subject to availability. Ferrero Rocher was £9.50. Coca-Cola £2.25 each. Offer ends 23rd of April.
Behind every money transfer, there's a dream. This Vaisakhi, feel closer to your loved ones with Remitly. Download the Remitly app and get a special new customer offer. Remitly wishes you a happy Vaisakhi. Authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
Get cheap flights to Mumbai with TravelUp.com or call 0207 580 5000. Enjoy the sights and sounds of Mumbai with your family and friends. Book at TravelUp.com. T&Cs apply.
Superstar Fawad Khan and cricket legend Wasim Akram team up for the biggest blockbuster of the year. Money back guaranteed.
अब जो खेल खेला जाएगा बहुत मजा देगा
लिखती है हमारी आपस में बनती नहीं है इलेक्शन के टाइम पर हम दिखावे के मीठे हो जाते हैं यहाँ सिर्फ पैसे की हिफाजत होती है लोगों की नहीं
Releasing on April 21st in theatres across the UK.
प्यार से बनाया था ये घर। अब सिर्फ यादें बची है यहाँ, ना अनुज है ना छोटी। तो ये घर कैसा? पता नहीं मैं अकेली ये सफर तय कर पाऊंगी भी या नहीं। समझ में नहीं आ रहा कान्हा जी कि मैं जाऊं तो कहाँ जाऊं।
एक माँ को भी माँ की जरूरत पड़ती है हर मोड़ पर।
अनुपमा every night at 8 on Utsav Plus।
बिना चांद के आसमान कैसा लगेगा?
बिल्कुल अधूरा।
बिना शीरी के फरहाद,
अकेली।
बिना लबाबदार बिरयानी के ईद।
तौबा तौबा।
तभी तो कहती हूँ कि कुछ जोड़ियाँ बेजोड़ होती हैं, जैसे कि लंबे और नफीस ग्रेन्स वाला टिल्डा ग्रैंड एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस और बिरयानी।
अब समझ आया, बिरयानी को बेहतरीन बनाता है कौन? Elevate your biryani with Tilda Grand Extra Long Basmati Rice। रमजान मुबारक from Tilda।
इबादत करो खास अब कुछ और मोमिनो, ये अशरा लैलतुल कदर का है। माह रमजान की खसूसी ट्रांसमिशन वक्त सहर और वक्त इफ्तार आपके अपने मेजबान रॉकी खान के हमरा लाइका रेडियो और लाइका गोल्ड पर। ये ट्रांसमिशन आप तक तारिक हलाल वालों के ताउन से पेश की जा रही है, जो कि साउथ ऑफ इंग्लैंड में अपनी 25 ब्रांचेस के हमरा मोर देन 350 स्टोर्स ऑफ सेंसबरीज पर फ्रेश हलाल मीट मुहैया कर रहे हैं। मजीद मालूमात के लिए उनकी वेबसाइट विजिट कीजिए tarikhalal.com।
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I hope you enjoyed the music. My special guest on the program today is Andrea Mallam, BEM, who was born in the late 1960s in India to Anglo-Indian parents of British ancestry. After finishing her education in Mumbai, she came to the UK in 1990, got married in 1992 into an Indian Gujarati family. Goodness, this is quite complicated, but she now lives in North London with her husband and 2 children. Andrea is the founder and trustee of a charity called Saving Dreams, a multi-award-winning leader in diversity and an international role model who enjoys making an impact, inspiring and motivating others. The charity supports various projects helping thousands of underprivileged children and their families. Let's go over to Southgate in North London and talk to Andrea Mallam. Good morning, Andrea.
Morning, Kate.
Andrea, tell us a bit about your charity. I mean, there are lots of charities about, but this one's pretty special. It's called Saving Dreams. Why did you create this charity?
I was doing a lot of voluntary and fundraising work for different charities, and I decided, you know what, why don't I do it for myself so I can do what I want and please myself and please others at the same time. And that's the reason I started the charity, which is called Saving Dreams. Main aim is connecting, supporting and empowering underprivileged children and their families. It's just something that we give back to the community. The main aim is to enable children to escape poverty with support and education. Things like sponsoring a child for the education or giving them kits or IT equipment for the education. During lockdown, we did that.
You're delivering what's called open-minded individuals' mindset strategies, which is quite a complicated thing to say, but obviously something that helps people make their lives more simple. How exactly do you tailor these strategies to individuals?
I play a very important, essential life in many lives because it's mainly under stress, but always with a smile. I start with sinking in with my main values that I've got. It's called 3 C's, which is courage, connection, and compassion. And I do help people with empathy. I have a lot of empathy to give people. I care and listen to people, and like courage comes in many forms. It inspires me by others.
What's the most challenging case that you've come across? Have you ever come across an individual who's come to see you and they say, we need help, we need support, and you say, actually, there's nothing I can do for you? A lot of people now, of course, go onto TikTok, and there's always these people giving you profound statements. I'm on every morning and every night, of course, because I'm addicted to TikTok, and there's always some person who says, these are the 7 things that you need to remember about life. Have you ever come across someone who actually cannot be helped?
There are challenging scenarios when I used to heading like a co-chair for diversity group, ethnic minority group, and people do come and ask, trying to get them ready for promotion. We can prepare them for it, but we can't really help them. They have to help themselves. And other situations are like when you have terminally ill child and you can't really help them much, but you need to support them. And that's a very challenging thing where the family needs the support as well as the child who knows when they are terminally ill.
This must be very difficult and very challenging. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to Andrea Mallam, author and leader in diversity. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the new book that she's about to release. Join us after the break.
Tilda Ka Zabardast Gana is brought to you by Tilda. On this Ramadan, elevate your biryani with Tilda Grand Extra Long Basmati. Ramadan Mubarak from Tilda.
तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, कि यारे जो भी तूने कैसे किया रे, जिया को मेरे बांध ऐसे लिया रे, समझ के भी ना समझ मैं सकूं, सवेरों का मेरे तू सूरज लागे, तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, अपना बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले मुझे, अपना बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले पिया, दिल के नगर में शहर तू बसा ले पिया। जुबानियाँ तेरी झूठी भी सच लागे, तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, तू मेरा कोई ना होके भी कुछ लागे, बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले मुझे, अपना बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले पिया, अपना बना ले पिया, दिल के नगर में शहर तू बसा ले पिया, ओ सब कुछ मेरा चाहे, नाम अपने लिखा ले, बदले में इतनी तो यारी निभा ले, जग की हिरासत से मुझको छुड़ा ले, अपना बना ले, बस अपना बना ले, अपना बना ले, अपना बना ले।
Tilda Ka Anokha song is brought to you by Tilda. On this Ramadan, elevate your festive meal with aromatic Tilda Pure Basmati Rice. Ramadan Mubarak from Tilda.
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica.
Leica.
जी दिल्ली अमृतसर
या यूरोप के अंदर
ट्रैवल करेंगे मस्त कलंदर
लाहौर या पेशावर
या दुबई घुमा कर
फोटो खिंचा कर या रीले बना कर।
अच्छा तो लगता है।
वो तो है, पर आजकल कन्वीनियंटली एयर टिकट कहाँ मिलता है?
मिलता है ना, मान ट्रैवल, टाइम इज फ्लाइंग, लेट्स फ्लाई टू, जस्ट कॉल 0208 099 9900।
हर ट्रिप में आपका मान रखेंगे।
मान ट्रैवल।
Hira Foods, bringing you authentic Eastern flavors with a huge selection of products including spices, grains, lentils, rice, flours, pickles, sauces, nuts and ready-to-eat meals. Hira Foods, king in quality, king in taste.
Asda's Together for Ramadan is a campaign offering every customer a chance to make a significant difference by purchasing from participating brands, which will then contribute to the small donation in Ramadan. Visit togetherforramadan.co.uk.
इस कड़कड़ाती ठंड में एक बढ़िया कड़क गर्मा गर्म चाय मिल जाए तो आए हाय मजा आ जाए।
अरे समझो हो गया, रॉयल चाय है ना, अब भी बन जाएगी। सिर्फ पैकेट खोलो और गर्म पानी में घोल लो, चाय तैयार, वो भी रॉयल टेस्ट के साथ। रॉयल चाय, झटपट, कहीं भी कभी भी।
Ramadan Mubarak! Celebrate this Ramadan with Scoop-Up Ramadan Special Natural Ice Cream. Enjoy baklava, date and almond ice cream with traditional rose faluda. Visit Scoop-Up in Alberton, Wembley, Basingstoke, Hounslow, Rayners Lane, Southampton, Watford and very soon in Croydon. Or enjoy Scoop-Up Ramadan Special at home by ordering on all popular food delivery apps.
The one thing COVID did give us, digital transformation. If you're serious about digital growth and would like a tactical approach to your digital marketing, then remember the name Hearty Hanks. With over 20 years experience and a proven track record, we have the talent and know-how to deliver online success. Hearty Hanks, experts in consultancy, branding, design, e-commerce, search and social. Call Hearty Hanks today on 020 8827 1600 or visit hhdigital.uk. Hearty Hanks, your partners for digital success.
Settling in London.
Expectation. Earning in 10-digit pounds.
Reality. Cleaning tables at fast food restaurants.
Expectation. Romancing a Firangi.
Reality. Britishers just ignore you.
Watch the struggles of illegal immigrants on United Kacche, a Z5 comedy series starring Sunil Grover. Streaming now.
तकलीफों की दुनिया में वेलकम।
क्वालिटी फूड्स की स्पेशल रमजान ऑफर। रमजान के मुबारक महीने में 20 kg टिल्डा प्योर बासमती खरीदने पर 700 ग्राम आलमंड्स बिल्कुल फ्री। ये ऑफर स्टॉक रहने तक है, सो जल्दी कीजिए, तशरीफ लाइए। क्वालिटी फूड्स और टिल्डा की तरफ से आप सबको रमजान मुबारक।
Holidays and More offers IFA tour packages to Dubai, 23rd to 29th of May with flights, hotel and tickets to the IFA Awards. Call Holidays and More on 01895 671700.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to Andrea Mallam, author and leader in diversity. Andrea, you are a multi-award-winning leader in diversity, an international role model who enjoys making an impact and inspiring and motivating others. These days, diversity means different things to different people. What does diversity mean to you? It's not just about Black, Asian and ethnic minority anymore, is it?
No, it's not. Diversity comes in many ways, and you can actually be biased against diversity without even knowing that you're biased against it. And that's a very difficult situation. And that's the reason I've actually done this anthology, which is called Bias Breakers. It's one of those rare books that once you start reading, you find yourself drawn into a timeless world of diversity. It is the richness of those stories that we have come up with, the inspiring contributors for this book. And that's what I want to bring about and inspire others by their stories. My journey started like when I was trying to find my own ancestry, my own background, which is being an Anglo-Indian from India. It was different, and it was like a clash of cultures between different people with different cultures and the changing perceptions. And I thought I could create a new heritage and bring about different stories together. And that's my diversity journey, which I brought about in a book called Indians Abroad.
Yeah, let's go on to your book and talk about that. You've written many books, Anglo-Indians Abroad, Dreams Built on the Clash of Cultures, Saving Dreams, an autobiography that you've co-authored called The New Woman. Is it difficult to sit there? I mean, I'm currently doing a re-edit of a book that my mother wrote 40 years ago on Greek myths.
Wow.
Is it difficult to do a book from scratch? Because this is just somebody else's work I'm re-editing, my mum's work. But when you start, is it difficult?
It was difficult with my autobiography and me being an Anglo-Indian. I had to go back to my roots and visit the places where I was born, baptized, christened, the area where there were loads of Anglo-Indians living there. And there are none now. Because it was my curiosity to go and find where I came from. Because when I was born, when I studied, there was not much progress in India. So I had to leave and came to the UK, and my journey started when I was curious. I did my DNA, got my ancestry from Ancestry.com, and found out I had relations I had no idea I had just down the road living from me. And that was a shock. And that's the reason I went down a memory lane and started doing Anglo-Indians Abroad. And then once you start one book, you cannot stop because you need to carry on. And that book went on to make me an anthologist and helping other people doing the same.
Now you're launching a new book, Bias Breakers, an anthology with 12 very diverse co-authors. And you're launching it this month in a few days' time on the 19th of April, National Diversity Month. What can we expect from that book?
It's different. It's a book that you must read if you're faced with any sort of bias for any reason or need the courage for others of how to break down the barriers of discrimination, what people go through in their daily life, or if you need positive thoughts about belief in yourself and your actions.
Andrea, madam, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Very best wishes for the launch of your book I hope it is a great success. I will certainly be buying it. Thank you for joining us. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you for having me, and best wishes to all the listeners.
ఎవరు ఫోన్ చేశారు? ఆపు ఆపు, ఎయిర్ప్లేన్ మోడ్.
ఉంటుంది ఉంటుంది నాచేంగే అప్నీ ఉఠా కర్కే లూంగి ఈ రోజు వేడుకగా ఉంటుంది ఉంటుంది నాచేంగే అప్నీ ఉఠా కర్కే లూంగి ఈ రోజు వేడుకగా ఉంటుంది ఉంటుంది నాచేంగే అప్నీ ఉఠా కర్కే లూంగి అది వెరీ అయిపోయింది. चमके डांस मम्मा अपने सॉन्ग पे तो छाए पूरा ट्रांस मम्मा चमके डांस मम्मा अपने सॉन्ग पे तो छाए पूरा ट्रांस मम्मा ए मम्मा ए मम्मा डांस करे हाथ बढ़ा दो वो पूरी जान लगा दो जरा ट्राइसेप बाइसेप को बुला दो बीट बजी हिट बड़ी नाच मम्मा समर में बजा पूंगी उठा लूंगी बांध मम्मा कमर पे आज समा बना है रुकना मम्मा मना है आज हमा नहीं आज धमा 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 ए मम्मा धमा धमा गाने को थोड़ा सा लाउड बजाना अपने संग झूमेगा सारा जमाना आओ धमक 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 पैर म्यूजिक पे गिर के झूमेंगे गाएंगे हम सारे मिलके आज बजे जश्न वाली जोर 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 पूंगी
personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Time's up for this week. I hope you enjoyed today's program. My thanks to Runa Tavore Agrawal and Andrea Malam for joining us today and giving us an inspiring start to Diversity Month. Special thanks to my producer Rina and of course my editor Adam. To end today's program, we're going to be hearing from Boom Paddy Maja Ma, which has already had 15 million views on YouTube. Please stay tuned for the wonderful Sheena, who follows the news on Leica Radio, Britain's greatest Asian radio station. This has been Talking Points on Leica Radio with Keith Vaz, broadcasting from London. I hope you have a great Sunday.
देखो चांद भी है आया झूमने, आया मस्ती में गोल गोल घूमने की आज रमझट है, रंगत है, सखियों की संगत है, मन में हरख न मायो जल से की आई रात रे, रंगीला मारा नाच, रंगीला मारा नाच, सनेड़ गाए साथ में, रंगीला मारा नाच।
झूमे धरती झूमे